Have you ever stopped to think about what a home really is? I mean, is it just a structure, or could it be something more? Today, we're going to take a look at Modloba Construction. They're a company that believes a home can actually nurture your well-being, sustain the planet, and empower the people living in it. So let's dive in and see how they're making that happen. And this, right here, this is so much more than just a catchy marketing slogan. It's really the DNA of their entire company. This one single sentence is the North Star for every decision they make, from the kind of materials they pick to the way they work with their clients. So that leads to this big question, right? What does it actually take to build a home that's good for you and good for the planet? It's a real challenge to the old way of thinking about construction. How do you possibly create a space that's a healthy sanctuary on the inside, but also a responsible citizen to the world on the outside? Let's dig into how Modloba tackles this, starting with what they believe. Okay, so to really get what Modloba is all about, you've got to start with their why. Long before they even think about laying a single brick, there's this really deep-seated philosophy at play. This isn't just about hammering nails and putting up walls. It's about creating environments that support life in every possible sense of the word. And holding up that whole philosophy are these core values. I mean, sure, sustainability and quality craftsmanship are front and center, as you'd expect. But what really stands out to me is this focus on innovation, true collaboration, and just straight-up integrity. These are the pillars that make sure a bold vision like theirs doesn't just stay on a piece of paper. All right, so we've got the why. Now for the fun part, the how. How do you take a beautiful idea like that and actually, build it? This is where we get into the really cool, sustainable methods that make them so different from your typical construction company. Okay, check this out. 8%. That's a huge number, right? Well, that's how much of the world's entire CO2 emissions come from making cement. Just cement. It's kind of staggering when you think about it, and it really shows you the scale of the problem that Modloba is laser-focused on solving. And this really lays out the choice we have in construction today. On one side, you've got the old way of doing things, heavy on carbon, eating up resources. And on the other, you have the alternatives that Modloba champions. We're talking locally sourced, super energy-efficient materials that just treat the planet a whole lot better. And just look at their toolkit. This isn't just one or two things. We're talking about amazing materials like hempcrete. Get this. It actually pulls CO2 out of the air as it hardens. It literally locks carbon into the walls of your house. How cool is that? Then you've got these ancient timeless techniques like rammed earth sitting right alongside modern stuff like recycled plastics. This shows a real depth of expertise. But wait, it gets even better. They're so committed, they'll even make their own bricks right there on the construction site. Now think about the ripple effect of that one decision. You slash transportation pollution, you get total control over the quality, and you're training local people with valuable new skills. It proves that for them, sustainability isn't just about the environment, it's about building up the community too. Okay, so you've got this amazing, innovative vision, but for it to actually work, it needs to be built on something solid, right? That brings us to their professional bedrock, the policies and the processes that make sure every single project is run with total discipline, transparency, and really earns that client's trust. Because, let's be real, a brilliant idea is one thing, but making it happen is the whole ballgame. Modloba totally gets this. They know that having solid, buttoned-up policies for things like quality, safety, and managing risk, well, that's the invisible scaffolding that holds the entire project together and guarantees it's going to be a success. And here's what that looks like in practice. It's a proactive, 4-step process. So first, they're looking for potential problems before they can even start. Smart. Then, they keep a tight grip on every single stage of the project. They also make sure their suppliers are on the same page value-wise. And finally, they're always looking for ways to get better. This isn't just paperwork, it's a system designed to give the client total peace of mind. When you boil it down, these policies are basically promises they're making to you, the client. A promise to communicate openly, a promise to keep track of every detail, a promise to protect your privacy. And, this is a big one, a promise to stand by their work. That 5-year structural warranty, that's not just a document. That's them saying, we believe in what we build and we've got your back. All right, so we've covered the philosophy, the why, and the process, the how. So now let's get to the what. How does all of this actually come together to create a real, living, breathing home for a client? I love this. This simple little flowchart shows you just how personal their approach is. It basically says, look, no matter where you are in your journey, whether you have land already or you're just starting to dream, we've got a clear path for you. It takes what can feel like a really overwhelming process and just makes it feel totally doable. And their services really cover the whole gamut, from brand new, cutting-edge, sustainable homes built from scratch to giving an older home a green makeover, or even just designing an interior that brings nature inside. That core idea of nurture, sustain, empower runs through absolutely everything they offer. And hey, don't just take my word for it. The proof is right here in what their clients are saying. Like Craig Munich puts it, a great experience with quality work. That hits on both points, right? It's not just about the finished house, but about the journey to get there being a good one. And this one from Claudel Samuels, wow, this really gets to the heart of who they are as people. I mean, top-notch workmanship is great, but being called an amazing team of decent, hardworking, honest people, that's something else entirely. That goes right back to those core values of integrity and collaboration we talked about. They're not just building homes, they're building relationships. So that brings us full circle, right back to where we started with that powerful idea. Modloba Construction is really asking us to think differently, to think bigger, about what our homes can be. And they leave us with this question. It's not just about a building project, it's about the kind of future we want to create for our families and for our world.